2013 Global Finals. But Shyvana is going to be played out by Porky. Oh, that's because, yeah, Lyon Gaming there off to the left. Porky, Thiak, Uri, Selya, and Nurjul. At least I can understand Nurjul, the Warcraft reference there, but Porky, it's just a funny name. So Porky is going to be playing on our Shyvana. It does look like a little bit of a competitive pause will be coming our way. Just got to make sure that all of our equipment is in tip-top shape. Anyone you see wandering around on the cameras are our referees in orange. Also got their big hoodies there. It's pretty cool here in Kunshan. It's not exactly freezing cold. The Great White north of Canada will definitely temper your tolerance for cold after a few years living there. But you know, a lot of hoodies going around, a lot of light jackets. But our orange for our refs this weekend is going to be really easy to spot out. If you guys are in Kunshan, China, and you want to come down, there's a lot of people here, like a really huge crowd for the different games. And the main stage is just, of course, all aflutter with all their various different main stage attractions. We've had cosplay competitions. We've had dance competitions. Of course, the main opening ceremony was definitely a treat to behold. And we're just going to be waiting for these guys to ensure that everything is A-OK before we get back into the game. But Lyon Gaming from Mexico, as I said, top seed of their region, and just a little bit surprised that they're able to come by. But either way, Taiwan, we're going to be in for a little bit of a treat. Taiwan, I've heard, is an extremely strong team. They have their support's name is actually Sword Art. So Steak, Hyunyun, Maple, NL, and Sword Art. Just really reminds me of the anime. Sword Art Online was definitely something of a great anime that to come out this year. Only the first 13 episodes, I would say. You don't really need to watch past that, at least in my opinion. But so I only got my notes here. I only caught Porky, and he's going to be on Shyvana there for Mexico. But they got Avaris on there as well. It's going to be the first ADC we've seen pick up Avaris. Our previous games did focus a lot on Lucian. He was in both of our previous games. We also had a Caitlyn and an Ezreal. And again, like Caitlyn, just a very safe and standard marksman. We had a top lane Quinn. If you weren't here for the first game today, Team Russia, the Red, actually did a top lane Quinn, dominated her lane in a very convincing fashion. It was almost an effortless win, I would say, for the Russians in game number 1. Well, I'm getting a little apprehensive here that we're not actually going to get back into this. We might actually have to restart the match. We saw that a few times, but nope, as I say that, it does look like we are going to jump right back into it. So, Porky, as I said, Thiak, going to be on our Jungle Vi. Vi, very popular pick, especially over in Korea these days. But if you do play Dominion, here's a quick tip for you guys. Dominion Vi is something to behold. Assassin tank, and it just does so much work up against a lot of our counterparts. Can easily duel out, especially in that mid game. So, you know, same kind of idea here. Probably going to get up a bit more tanky. It's all for the lockdown. It's all for that lockdown past level 6. In terms of a level 1, does not look like we're actually going to have too much of a skirmish right off the bat. We did see quite a few in our remakes from game number 2 as well as game number 1. That's pretty much set the tone for Myth back then. We're going to have to just keep our eye on the level 1 engage here. But right now it does look like Kha'Zix is actually might be a contender for bottom lane. Be very curious to see what kind of swaps we got. Rumble's going to be up at the top. Right. So Maple's actually going to be on our Kha'Zix, Steak there on our Rumble. So as I said, Steak probably up in the top lane. Does enjoy hanging out there. Maple is going to be on our Kha'Zix. So it is going to be a mid lane Kha'Zix. So mid lane Kha'Zix up against a Ziggs. Ziggs got to be very careful. If he throws out a few too many bombs, if we get a well-placed leap coming out from Kha'Zix, it could end the day for Ziggs unless he has himself that escape mechanism. But you know, if you time it out well and you get some of those cooldowns, and you could get yourself into a really good position. Does not look like any kind of level 1 is going to go down, but red buff is going to come the way of the jungle Elise, played by Hyunyun, or Hyunyun. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Nobody tells me anything, unfortunately. And that leaves our support for our Thresh. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So bottom lane is just going to be our 2-on-2, 1-1-1-1 combos. Nothing, no kind of lane swaps coming out. Nothing fishy in terms of that regard. But Elise picks up her red. And Vi picks up her blue. She goes straight for the red. Might actually come down for a gank in the bot, but I suspect it would be more towards the mid. Kazakhs haven't really seen too much of Kazakhs ever since he got hit repeatedly by the nerf bans. He can't do the jump and missile combo anymore, but it'll be interesting to see how he does fare up against the Ziggs. As I said, Ziggs has fairly low cooldowns on a lot of his stuff, but if he does get out the satchel charge, he will have a built-in escape mechanism. Shouldn't be too bad. I thought I saw some aggression bottom. I did see some aggression bottom. Ner'zhul was the one caught out. That ignite's not going to be enough to finish him off, unfortunately. He is going to chug some potions, eat some rations, back up to 60 health points and climbing. But, you know, Sword Art and NL making some of these big plays in the bottom lane. That's going to be a big pressure advantage going their way. And that means they should be able to do some zoning pressure as well. He just took a rain of arrows to the face, but he did get off that dark wind. So, you know, Fiddlesticks early game, not exactly the tankiest. Thiak maybe thinking of coming down. He's kind of hiding in that Dragon Pit. Maybe he's looking to catch Elise on a transition, but unfortunately there will be no catch there. I'm not entirely too sure we even have wards for this. Sword Art could be in some trouble. Thiak comes out, doesn't actually get hit by the Volt Breaker. And Sword Art is just going to be able to turn right back around, throw out the Sickle and Chain, but fortunately it's not going to be able to connect. So there's our first gank attempt, but that bottom lane right now, the pressure is pretty overwhelming for NL as well as Sword Art, because they almost did bring down Ner'zhul. That was his flash out of it as well. So if we do keep having these repeated visits, that lack of a flash on a very early game squishy Fiddlesticks could turn out extremely well. Kunshan up here, they don't know it. Porky fortunately did just throw out that burnout and a great flash to boot as well. That's not going to get caught by that Cocoon, and Elise gets defeated on that gank. But it does not look like she's actually going to leave that top lane. They are still going 2-on-1 in there. And I think they are going to be jumping right on top of it. Yeah, Porky is in a bit of a situation, but the tower doing so much damage up against Elise. Going to find Thiak, and that's the first blood. Thiak with the massive timing coming out into that bush. And a dive gone wrong for the flash rolls. So they do drop that first blood. Thiak's gonna come up right behind him. No wards here for Stake whatsoever, but he kind of knew something was up. Does dodge out the Vault Break, and now Porky's gonna get in the fray, looking for the kill, and he will grab it. Skin of his teeth, 50 hit points, and he takes home another kill here for Vi. That's gonna put Lyon Gaming up 2-0. Just over 1,000 gold difference here at this early game. So that bottom lane aggression turned into top lane aggression, which did not work out whatsoever for the Flash Wolves. And now they're going to have to reevaluate that position in terms of diving up that top. I mean, this is our third game now. We've seen Shyvana. The 3.13 bat was extremely kind to her, as we are now seeing 100% play rate here on the LoL Plus stream. But mid lane as well, both of them did head back. We got Ziggs coming back with double Doran's rings in the Amp Tome. And it does look like Kazakhs is actually going to come back with a ward, potions, and that longsword. So very likely going to be on their first path to his Blade of the Rune King, or possibly a Hydra. Maybe a Brutalizer. There's a lot of different ways you could go with the early game. In terms of the creeps in the mid, Kazakhs ahead slightly. A little bit of farming coming out from Ziggs as well. Bottom lane, it's 45 to 39. Caitlyn has the slight edge. But with that death up top, Shyvana, I mean, 2 assists to her name. Comes back to lane with not only the Doran shield, but the magic resist as well. So the magic resist is going to pay off in dividends up against Rumble and ganking Elise. Both of them, of course, are very dependent upon their AP ratios for damage. But Elise probably going to go a bit tankier rather than damage. A little less assassin, a little bit more tank. Does have the Spirit Stone ready to go. And would not be too surprised to see her go into the Fist, maybe even Aegis later on. And we'll see from there. Vi was thinking about coming around bottom, but really push lane. Cilia and Ner'zhul just able to keep the pressure up against this early. You know, I mean, we had so much burst from this early Varus and Thresh. Now they're pretty much on their heels, and they just have not been able to leave that tower range for a while. Porky a little bit of damage up top from Stake. I think there's a little bit of an irony joke coming out if you compare Porky to Stake, but Maple was thinking of doing a rotation, ended up not. He's just kind of hanging around here in the mid. Not entirely too sure if he wants to catch out Vi, or if he even knows Vi's there. We do have a ward just behind him, though, at that corner brush. But so far, pretty calm game. Just a little bit of action bottom, a little bit of action top. A little bit of shopping sprees now coming out. As you see, Caitlyn just coming back, spent all her money on that BF sword. 2,000 to her name. It's a very similar amount there for Varus as well. He's going to head back and is going to match that BS sword as well. A few potions to come out as well, but that Thresh, he's going to come back a little tankier with the Ruby Crystal. It's the same exact buy for our Fiddlesticks. A little bit, I'd say a little bit better off for Fiddlesticks so far in terms of cash, just looking at the fact that he has that biscuit, hasn't had to use it quite yet. Hoyun is going to go up and comes right back down, has nowhere to go, but Thyak could not finish it up. That was the Ziggs bowl as well. Maple now in a little bit of trouble, but here comes Rumble from the top as well. That's going to be the flash out from Thyak, and nobody going down in that exchange. A lot of flashes, a lot of ults burned out, but Huayun was not able to go down. Maple coming in, he got bursted down low as well, but Steak and Porky now going to go one-on-one. The Burnout doing some pretty decent damage up against Steak. He knows that we have no equalizer on that Rumble, so now is the time to duel for Porky. And he has level 6 to boot as well, so that Dragon's Descent could be coming out. Still barely healthy. Might try to go for the all-in. He has that Ignite ready to go, but we do not have a flash on Steak. Fortunately, we do not have that flash on Shyvana either, but that Descent could be the difference. Not entirely too sure. Porky is actually starting to get the better of these trades, but he's going to do it anyways. And he does have that Burnout and the Q double strike ready to go. He does take home the kill on top of Steak, as I was hoping that he would. And Porky is going to be happy, very happy with that. So 3-0 now for Lyon Gaming. 1,500 gold. So it's starting to get a little wider. I mean, Sword Art and NL down here, I mean, they're still last hitting basically neck and neck. 2 creeps each for the supports, 77, 75. Those BF swords coming out in dividends, but it does look like could be a dangerous situation for Thyak. No, he actually mistimed it and didn't get that assault right through the trees. Fortunate for him, because at the same time we had Sword Art throw out the Sickle and Chain. And just, it would have been a really great collapse upon target. Unfortunately, was kind of out of range, and then misdirection coming out on top of that, so he didn't actually go anywhere. Little surprise, there are some pings going down for the Dragon. It does look like Flash Wolves might be the ones to take it. They're going to find that ward in the river, take it down with them. Ziggs throwing out some bombs, does not land on top of Maple, but I don't know if they can actually pull this off. We got the rest of Lyon Gaming coming down to collapse. Elise is going to be in there, but Red Team is going to take the Dragon Shot. Vanna's coming from the top. The Equalizer goes down. Ner'zhul's in there as well with the Crow Storm. Maple is looking real low, but that's the Dark Passage coming out. Ner'zhul did drop to that. It was a 2-for-1 exchange, but it was also the Wolves with the Dragon. The bomb actually missed. The bouncing bomb from Uri. The Satchel will grab him, but it's going to be the leap, and Maple gets away to safety. Really well played on his part. And yeah, the better of the trade, definitely going the way of the Flash Wolves there, as they were able to take home 2 kills for 1, plus the Dragon. So when we do got our interface back out, that should be now somewhere in the 2,500 gold range. But wow, was I ever wrong? Flash Wolves actually, well, right, because they were down in the gold. That's, I added instead of subtracted. So GG math on the fly. So that brings them to parity and a little bit ahead instead of increasing the gold range of Lyon Gaming. So GG Jester. Can't do math on the fly. I apologize. But yeah, this is, I believe, our first match in Group A. We had 2 Group Ds already. And Lyon Gaming Flash Wolves bring in their A game here. It is the round robin tournament, so even if they lose, either team can lose at this point. They won't be out, but they won't be gaining any points either. So yeah, deciding that he's just going to tank the creep, wait for the tower to hit it. Tower never got around to it. Just a little bit out of that range. Might have a little bit of a bush gank coming down here from Huayun. And he knows that the bush is going to be safe because we do got that Oracles there. But we also have Vi coming down as well. Kha'Zix looks like he might actually be doing a lane swap with Rumble. So we have so much magic resist right now on top of Shyvana. They said, dude, I can't deal with it. And now Kha'Zix, with all that physical damage, with that Brutalize and the Longsword, he's going to go up top. We're going to put Rumble in the mids. And that's going to screw up Shyvana a little bit. She does have the Doran Shield and the Health Crystal, but all that magic resist is basically going to go to waste for this lane matchup. it's going to be up to Lyon to see what kind of trade we're going to do there. Dark Passage comes in. It is going to be a 3-on-3 here in the bot. But it was the chain on top of Thiak, but Lyon is not looking so good. Maple in the top did take down Porky during all of this. So they're going to trade out 2 for 1 as they lost Elise. They lost Maple, but Porky at the top also went down. Still, the bottom lane engaged did not go the way of the Flash Wolves. And just unfortunate for him. It was a 3-on-3 situation, but man, that ace in the hole coming out as well. NL is going to be dropping extremely low. And that was a really perfect situation for Elise as well, because she knew that that bush wasn't warded, but they just couldn't get that in angle. Vi was down there as well for that counter. And as we see, the rest is history. Now, Porky did drop up top. Looks like him and Maple actually did trade out. And Rumble's actually now going to be heading back up top. Going to get a lot of that free farm. Now, Rumble's only at 51 creeps. It's a little low for solo laner. I mean, 72 there on Shyvana, 93 on our Ziggs, 113 now on our ADC for Caitlyn. But her and Varus still neck and neck. If we can get Rumble, you know, he has 2 assists but 2 deaths. No kills, a little low on the CS. He's going to need some of that money. And Porky is just like, oh man, there's a Rumble up top, and I got all this magic resist. Got a Kindle gem now as well for some cooldowns and some chain invest to help deal with up against Maple. But man, Steak, he just throws out that equalize. He does not want to deal with Porky whatsoever. He's just going to push the wave, go back home, probably another swap or at least another lane, because he will not be able to deal up against Porky's sustain, and he'll just get worn down by the dragon. Well, Blue is going to go the way of Maple again. He did pick up the last one by himself, but Hueyun is going to just trade this off. So Blue to a Kha'Zix is actually really good, because that's a lot more cooldowns that he has to his name. And at the same time, he can just keep spamming them out, get a lot of last hits from the Q and the missile spam. But Porky up top, I mean, Rumble, he's going to come back, but that tower has had better days. It is not looking very hot at all at this point. But Rumble knows what to do. He knows how to last hit. The problem is he just really hasn't had the opportunity to last hit as much as he wants. And Elise is going to come down here again for another lane gank. But Vi is also there in the wings, but looks like she actually might be backing off. It's really hard to do these kind of tower dives, especially early on in these games. I mean, we are level 8, level 9, but we do have a Thresh. So Elise could get in there with her gap closer, get off that cocoon. They could go for the kill. Talking about the kill there, the Assault and Battery going right with Maple for that dash. He uses the bushes to his advantage and the invis, but it's not going to be enough. Thiak takes him down. Uri was able to help out there as well. Nergio now caught a little bit too far in the lane. Hueyun was able to help take him down 3-on-1. Caitlyn looked like was off warding, believe it or not, but on a 3v1 situation against early game Fiddlesticks, just cannot deal with that kind of pressure. So they do trade out again the kills, Nergio for Maple, but it's going to be the story of the towers. Top tower is likely to go very soon from Porky. Mid is now going to be dropping from Uri, but bottom also dropping now as well to Varus. So a lot of even trades going back and forth. And in terms of the game gold, it's still only about 1,000 between them. So at a 7-4 score, it's a slight advantage going ahead for Lyon Gaming, the #1 seed from Mexico. But the Flash Wolves are basically going blow for blow at this point, and they are not letting any kill go unanswered, any tower go unanswered. But unfortunately, Rumble does not have an answer for that top lane Shyvana. So they finally get a little bit of that more advantage. As you can see, the gold lead did spike because the second tower for Lyon Gaming has now dropped. And Rumble, he's basically just abandoned the lane. He's just going to go into the farm, the jungle, maybe come in mid, try some 2v1 tactics. We also got to think about the dragon coming up because it is live. And you can see a lot of people now trying to collapse on top of his Sword Art, doing a little bit of poking around, finds Thiak. Thiak chases him off, but that dragon is half health and dropping. I'm not too sure there's going to be any kind of competition. No, it will not. So one dragon apiece. Now Porky Thiak, but that's a flash into the sickle, but there's no follow-up. Everyone else from Flash Wolves went to the bottom. The jump over from Maple is going to take down Nergio. Again, the Fiddlesticks with the non-tanky factor is coming in. He's become basically a pinata for this Maple as well as Varus. He's 0-3-2, and we've seen this a lot from a lot of the high competitive play. You pick off the supports. We only have a sight stone to the name of both of our supports at this point, but if you had to take a guess in terms of who was tankier, it would definitely go with Sword Art. So here comes NL. He's going to be trying to stay, or sorry, here comes Thyak. He's going to try to stay on NL, but Celia just cannot really match that movement speed. Uri's going to drop to the bot, to the Rumble in the mid, but NL actually cleans up Vi. Man, Vi was really trying to make something happen there from Celia, but just could not match that kind of movement speed, and Varus was able to just tick her down. So again, kill for kill, blow for blow, but now we're up 7-7, 2 towers to 1, and Flash Wolves, they're still keeping in this fight. 23,000 gold to the 25. It's hardly an insurmountable difference. And these top creeps are just going to have a little bit of fun with this top tower. Porky's going to come and clean it all up. Man, Shyvana, like Papa Smithy really said it, Shyvana has quite the wave clear once it gets that burnout rolling. And we do have actually that upgraded hood into the Spirit Visage for her. So, I mean, Rumble almost at this point has nothing on it, and now going for the Sunfire Cape. Shyvana is the story of WCG 2013. Every match we've seen a Shyvana, in every match she does just phenomenally well. So where to go from here? 7-7, 18.5 minutes. I mean, Caitlyn had her Infinity Edge at the 15-minute mark. She's going to farm in pretty good. 101 with 160 creeps to her name, and looking for that Zeal next. Now, Varus, on the other hand, he decided to go for the Bloodthirster, but then straight into the physical penetration with the Last Whisper. Doesn't even have the tier 2 boots. But a lot of the time in these games, you don't really see a lot of tier 2 boots until like the 20-minute, 30-minute mark. With the new base movement changes that came with Season 3, mid boots are just not nearly as important as they used to be. So going for a lot more damage orientation rather than the movement speed for Varus, I mean, you got to be pretty confident in your skills, because Varus has no innate escape mechanism whatsoever. So at a 302 score and his 174 creeps, he's taken the kill lead. Well, he's tied for the kill lead. But he's also taken the creep lead, which means that he's probably our richest summoner right now. And you can see that with double items completed. We don't have that Zeal yet for Caitlyn, but in all fairness, I mean, that Infinity Edge is a lot more expensive. Now we do got a little bit of action going down here at the red. A lot of flat going back and forth. The Equalizer's actually come down on top of Thyak, but he's just going to be able to Vault Breaker away. And nothing really going to come of it. So a little bit of aggression come out from the Flash Wolves, but might not actually work out in their favor. That was the flash forward from Near Zero. He wanted to grab that flash fear on top of Hui Jun, but did not grab it. The Dark Passage come out from Sword Art. I mean, Thresh is a very useful support. I mean, we've seen him now in 2 of our 3 games, and he just makes some of the most amazing saves that you'll ever see. So because we have now basically pushed back the aggression from the Flash Wolves, a little bit of their own aggression coming the way of Lyon Gaming, and that mid tower is starting to get a little hurt. Half health and counting. I mean, the rest of the team here from the Flash Wolves are able to mobilize and just defend for now, but there's going to be more and more creeps. They're going to be desperate here for the creep player, because that tower, they cannot really afford it to go down. Porky don't care. He goes in with the burnout, get that extra movement speed, get off the queue. Caitlyn in the back is able to land a lot of the damage, and there it goes. That tower down, which means it could see some big team fights coming their way. And that's exactly what they wanted to do. Lyon Game wanted to get in there. They wanted to get that tower and then do a big team fight under it, but Flash Wolves, they erred on the side of caution. They were rewarded for it with no deaths in that skirmish. So checking out the blue buff, looking to see if any kind of steal is possible, but sadly it's not. Maple just kind of jumping in and around with the Kazakhs. 158 creeps to him, 184 now for our top CSer, our Varus player. But other than that, taking a quick look at some of the other items, Vi going extremely tanky with the Fist as well as the Aegis. Not really too surprising in the long run of it. Does have another cloth arm on top of that. Might be going for the Locket next, but Rumble has himself the Haunting Guys into the Leandries. So he's able to pump out a little bit of extra damage. Has the Magic Pen Boots on top of that. Magic Pen Boots as well as the Fist for Elise. So again, a little bit more of a tanky Elise, but with that penetration, at least she has a little damage to her name. And Stake, he's just eyeing all this creep food down here, looking to get his last hits up. He is only at 108. he has only been part of 3 of the 7 kills. So he's a little starved out at this point, but I mean, that Elise, 0-3-4 and only 67 creeps. She's seen better days. I have to go with she's probably the most starved of all of them at this point. And if you check out the difference between Elise and Vi, I mean, the difference is extremely clear. 3 kills, 2 assists coming out for Vi, and more creeps on top of that. She has the Aegis, she has that extra cloth armor, but she doesn't have the tier 2 boots. So that's kind of the trade-off. Blue team is Lyon Gaming has actually timed out their Dragon extremely well, so they do gather for it, but fortunately it does not look like any kind of bait was taken. Thiak goes in, though, with that Assault and Battery. Does not seem to be too much of a turnaround. Maple comes in at the back with that leap. He's able to take her down. The Equalizer now going down as well, but Ziggs had already thrown out all that he can. Sword Art with that sickle is able to grab Porky. They enjoy a pork dinner, but it was the shutdown coming out on top of Varus. So poor NO did drop throughout that, but still, it was a 2-for-1 exchange. It was the better for the Flash Wolves. So maybe it would have been a little bit smarter just to go straight for the Dragon, just like what Lyon's doing right now. That's what they should have done before. I mean, it really did look like Thiak went in a little too hard. I mean, he had the Vault Breaker into the Assault and Battery, and by then he was just so far removed from his team. He flashed. He didn't actually flash, but he did get back out of that. It doesn't matter. Maple was able to take him down, and you know, Maple with the Kazakhs 4-2-3 has the most kills and almost the most creeps on his team. That was a good cash grab there by Seiya, but Kazakhs actually doing some really good work. A little bit rough there in the laning phase, but you know, Ziggs has been stayed pretty calm. 0-1-3 compared to the 4-2-3 of Kazakhs. So you can see Kazakhs having a bit more of an impact on the game. But Ziggs, you know, he has himself the pen boots, has himself the Athenes, all of it fairly useless up against Kazakhs. No real magic damage coming their way. And, now Porky, no fear up against this Rumble whatsoever. Rumble actually, if you look at it, has home guard boots. The first person actually to upgrade his tier 2 boots into that. But I mean, Porky at this point 4-2-2, basically just going again blow for blow with that Kazakhs. Has himself the Spirit Visage as well as the Sunfire, and you know, finally boots. We do got the Locket now finished up there for Vi as well, so Thiak, you know, still getting that cash flow. And we do got the Zeal now as well for Caitlyn, so mobile boots on Fiddlesticks. Wasn't actually expecting that. I would have expected to see a bit more of pen boots, or a bit more of a tanky boot, since he does have to be in and amongst everyone with that Crowstorm, but does not have the Ruby Sightstone either. So you can see he has the ward, he has the Vision ward as well, but he has the he only has the first level of that Sightstone. And I'm a little curious, Maple going up against Porky. I mean, Porky does have a lot of armor under her belt, but Maple, with that penetration, does have the Last Whisper, does have the Brutalizer as well, so that's quite a bit of armor penetration. You saw it come out there with those combos. Thiak going in, the steal attempted there by the Ziggs. Ace in the hole coming out as well. Stake going to be running for it. He flashed forward as well, but he did get off that Ignite, so he will take home that kill. Flash coming out now from Elise as well. And all things considered, Lyon Gaming got to be happy with that. They didn't quite get the blue steal, but they were able to take home a kill on top of Stake. And yeah, maybe a kill is a kill is a kill. That's going to extend them up to 4,000 gold lead difference. Still not an insurmountable sum here for the Flash Wolves, but they're basically just they're starting to get cornered. They don't have any of their tier 1 towers, or at least they're about to not have any of their tier 1 towers. That bottom lane has a 3-man push going pretty hard on top of it. Here comes the creeps. Nerjul is actually tanking it out, but there's not going to be anyone down there to capitalize on it, and there it goes. That's going to be the last of the river turrets as Seiya takes home that one, extends the gold lead up another grand. But yeah, we are starting to run out of map room. We don't really have a lot of wards out on the board either from the Flash Wolves. We got one there in the mid, and then one up by their wolves, believe it or not, and then one at their golems. Very interesting warding positions. So nothing on the river, nothing on the entrances to these jungles, but they got their own deep wards in their own jungles. So a little curious. Lyon Gaming has actually done pretty much, you know, what you'd expect. They got the wards there in the river mouth by their jungle entrance to the red, as well as the enemy blue. So if they can actually time out a steal, that would be a pretty big advantage going forward in the next set of pushes coming out from Lyon. But Porky, very fresh memories of last time we engaged on Maple. Might try to do a little bit of a bait out, but we have a lot of red up in that top jungle. Elise is going to be up there as well. And I think Fiddle is going to try to come up here. Porky, however, a little bit too impatient, goes and reveals himself. So basically the plan is all shot. Everyone has to go home unhappy and just drink at home. But Thiak going to jump over that wall. Not really any kind of aggression to follow that up. But a lot of the team of Flash Wolves are just going to be concentrated here in the mid. They got Kazakhs up top just farming away. 200 creeps to his name as well. 250 going on for Varus. 3-1 and 4. His cash is starting to get a little out of proportion. 3-1 and 4. In fact, the only person with more kills than him at this point is both Shyvana as well as Kazakhs. But Caitlyn, 103, she's staying fairly consistent with the creeps. Has herself that upgraded Zeal into the Phantom. And now with a pickaxe, probably going to go into a Last Whisper. Haven't really seen a lot of Phantom Dancers. It's usually static shifts these days, but Maple and Porky just high-fiving each other there in the top with fiery Dragon Claws and needle scythe-like pincers. Not exactly something I would ever want to high-five into, but yeah, they're still trading out close, but it's not really going to be a definitive kill either way. I mean, Porky, if he can time out the Dragons then after a leap, he will stand a chance of taking down the kill. Otherwise, it's just going to be a leap away. Ace in the hole comes out. That's going to be Thiak as well on top of Sword Art. They're looking for that support kill, but Nerjul again is going to be the target. He drops extremely quick. Did not have really a huge impact on that fight. And again, the Dark Passage saving Elise's life. 1-0 exchange. Porky trying to just find Maple. Actually throws out the Dragon Descent as well. But Porky was able to find Elise, takes her home. And that's actually going to be quite the proud kill there for Porky. So what we went from a 1-0, it goes for a 1-1 exchange. Dark Passage coming out again, but that was the flash there from Maple as well as the lead. Still, he lived, and he's going to be able to say that he did live to fight another day. And at the end of all things, it is a 1-for-1 exchange. Dragon is live, and you can see Lyon Gaming making a beeline for it. So they're able to trade out for the kills, and then they're able to pick up an objective afterwards. So cash money in their pockets, Lyon Gaming and the Flash Wolves. Difference of 6,000 gold and climbing. 10 kills apiece on the board as we go into our 30-minute mark. We see some bigger items now coming out to play as well. So Caitlyn does not look like she has enough to pick up that Last Whisper quite yet. And poor Fiddlesticks, unfortunately for him, he has no gold generation items whatsoever, and he's 1-4 and 3, 24 creeps to his name. A little surprised actually that he's able to, creep as much as he has been doing. But I guess if he's the only one there, it's better than wasting them. But comparing him, like his items, he finally upgraded into the Ruby Sightstone. That's the only difference from the last time that we talked about his items. Whereas Ziggs has himself a Death Cap and a blasting one on top of that. We got more and more armor coming out from Vi as well as Shyvana. Shyvana with the Warden's Mail now as well. She is quite the tanky beast. Literally beast, dragon beast. The Hex Drinker did come out here for Maple, so he went a little bit more defensive, but it still gives him some decent attack damage by the end of all things. Rumble, a little surprised Rumble actually hasn't actually bought something else either. Must be starting to really feel the pinch of the low CS numbers, and it's 135. He hasn't exactly been flush with cash this entire game. But Elise does have now finally finished up that Aegis. Doesn't quite have the locket that Vi does. Again, Vi just looking extremely strong right there, but I didn't actually know you could hook into the Baron. That was pretty interesting. Now what's up with our Varus? He's about to hit 300 creeps at the 31-minute mark, so he's been creeping extremely well. He has his own Phantom Dancer to go with the Bloodthirster and the Last Whisper on top of that. So in terms of pure damage, it comes down to the Last Whisper versus the difference between the Bloodthirster and the Infinity Edge compared to Caitlyn. So Caitlyn is going to be able to crit harder, but there could be something to be said for the sustainability for NL. Keeps him in a fight longer, at least a prolonged fight. But now we'll have to see this next one if it's going to be a factor. Nice arrow actually landing on top of Caitlyn. A big chunk of her hit health could be lost on that one. So You saw Thiak, I mean, he went in with the Volt Breaker. He was looking for the Assault and Battery, but couldn't find a target. So it's not going to be any kind of aggression there. Finally finds it. It's going to be on top of Huyan. That was the Ziggs ult as well. The box goes down for the anti-initiation. Thiak not looking so good. NL is going to take home that kill. He's looking pretty healthy. He's going to be able to take a little bit of damage, but they can't catch up to Porky. Ace in the hole goes out, and that's going to be blocked out by Stake. And a little bit of Void missiles coming out on top of Nerjul as well, the Void Spikes. Big fights, 1 kill. And it went the way of the Flash Well, so they recoup a little bit of their cash there. The initiation coming out, I mean, we got Vi to do initiation, we got Porky to do initiation, we got Nerjul to do initiation, but we haven't really found that sweet spot from Lyon Gaming quite yet. There hasn't really been any kind of big definitive fights for them. And it always seems to be like Flash Wolves just recovering from the initiation and able to just deal the damage right back into the face of Lyon Gaming. So 1 kill that round. Zig's starting to actually put a little bit of damage on the board with that Death Cap and that Athenes. He still has the double Dorans as well. He's starting to become a little dangerous Yordle, that's for sure. Now NL has enough cash to go home. What is he going to pick up from that? Is it going to be more offensive? We're going to see a bit more of a defensive item from him. Yeah, it's gonna well, maybe not. He thought about it, and then he bought it again. Sells off the Dorans, Blake gets the BF sword, so we're probably gonna be seeing the Quicksilver into a Scimitar a little bit later on. 10 to 11 is the kills. 4 towers to 1. A few dragons on the side of Lyon Gaming now. So that's why that's pretty much the definitive of why they have so much gold. They're creeping pretty well. They got 3 members in the 200 range, almost the 300 range now for that Ziggs, comparatively to Flash Wolves. I mean, Varus is just farming like a beast, 335, but past that, it really comes down to Kha'Zix, and then again, a much lower tier after that. It's going to be the Rumble. So this next team fight could determine who's going to be the Baron. It's going to be the catch on top of Nerjul. Nerjul's going to be forced out of it. Ziggs throws out the damage as well. Stake with that Dark Passage gets the shield. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Throws out the scrap shield on top of things. But no, Porky is going to be grabbing him with those fireballs. It's going to be Maple now in the front. Maple does not get hit by that ace. Huyan actually did. He has to flash forward now as well. And the disengage is strong with the Flash Wolves. Looks like they're going to be able to stem their losses into a 1-for-1 trade, but Maple, skin of his teeth, Huyan, skin of his teeth, had to throw out all their flashes to get out of that one. And just, again, they're just able to go blow for blow, damage for damage, big creep wave up here. Yuri's going to be happy for all of that and just gobbles them all up. That's going to be putting him over the 300 mark now as well. In terms of the cash, when we do get an update, hopefully it will be sometime soon, but I mean, 5,000 gold still between these teams. It is staying relatively consistent between 4,000 and 6,000 now, and we just had another turret actually taken by NL. So is that the mid turret? Yeah, I believe that was the mid. So 4 towers to 2, a little bit of cash back in the pockets of the Flash Wolves, but Dragon is about to spawn. And if Sword Out does go back home, and Maple's going to be down here, they're going to see Rumble up top. Might see a big rush here from Beyond to go grab it. I mean, it's going to be free gold on a 3v5 scenario, and you can see we're starting to collapse on top of it. Huyan, yeah, they're going to be getting a lot of pings going down, but they will not be able to contest this. Even Rumble coming down from the top, but they don't have Thresh. Maple and Huyan, they're going to be out there. They're going to be serving as that distraction, but the Dragon is starting to drop down. That's going to be the corrupted shot as well. Yuri actually takes down Stake off camera. Ziggs with the ultimate. Lots of damage on top of Maple. Thiak not able to take him home, but it will be Seiya who will grab the kill. So again, Dragon going the way, Lyon. Another favorable team fight for them. It looked like Stake was just really got out of position on his transition down. And just when you take Rumble out of the equation like that, 5-on-4, they're going to go straight for Baron, it seems, and why not? It's going to be a 5-on-3 if it is an engage, and Lyon thinks that they are going to be able to take that kill. It's up to the Flash Wolves. What do they want to do here? Do they want to contest as they throw out the lantern? You can't do anything about it for a little bit. And now takes home the killing spree on top of that Fiddle. We got the box now going out as well, but Sia picks up the kill on top of Elise, and the Baron is still going down at the back. Man, that arrow was so close from NL. He's going to get the Dark Passage. Nice play coming out as well from Sword Art, but is it going to be enough to keep NL up? It very well will be, but Sword Art is going to be the one who drops. Porky might actually make an attempt. I don't think he has a flash up though. No, he doesn't, but he is going to be able to just solo down that Rumble. All that magic is just coming out extremely strong, and Porky is going to be able to walk out of that one. Tower shots going down on top of Sia, but Maple up and down, goes down, but a great snipe from NL in the back. They really, really wanted to take down NL, but they couldn't, and he actually is able to take home the only kill for the Flash Wolves in that fight. Now the good news is Seiya does not have Baron. The bad news is there was a lot of deaths for the Flash Wolves. So blue turret is going to go down. It's going to be a little bit extra cash in the Flash Wolves pocket. So it is only about a 7,000 gold difference between these guys, but we got 4 of the 5 members of Lyon Gaming with the Baron buff. They're up in terms of the gold. In terms of the items, we got a Kindle Gem now finally on our Fiddlesticks. Poor guy is just so starved, but Guardian Angel comes out from Seiya. We got the Void Staff now on our Ziggs, and double Randuin's Omen for our Shyvana and our Vi. I'm not going to say it's over for the Flash Wolves, because they very well could come back out of this with very smart play, but the item and gold advantage going the way of Lyon Gaming, it's looking like a very favorable win for these guys coming in. Now NL still farming away, has himself the Infinity Edge as well as the Bloodthirster, so he picked up the Magic Resist, but that BF sword was turned into an Infinity Edge, and why not? He's 7-1-5. As we saw the staying power that he had last team fight, he's still able to get out of a lot of these situations. There's just a lot of mechanics on his team that keeps him very, very safe. Fortunately, the last few team fights did not work out for the Flash Wolves. I mean, Rumble basically died 3 times in the last few minutes. Like, he died at the Dragon, so maybe only twice. He died at the Dragon, then he came back up and he sacrificed himself for NL because Shyvana is like, oh, I remember you. I have a lot of magic resist and you can't touch me. And that's pretty much what happens. Even through the tower, like with that much armor under Shyvana's belt, she is an impenetrable tank at this point. She can take quite a bit of punishment. So look for her to get in. Look at the tower damage. It does not even hit. Porky knows this. He goes right back into the backline. Shutdown spree comes out on top of NL, and now without their star AD carry, Flash Wolves are in a bit of a pickle. Double kill comes out for the Ziggs, 2 for 0. Maple knows that he's basically done. He goes in, gets the kill, gets the reset, flashes back out with that leap. So that was actually a really good play from him. It did keep him alive. And they were able to trade out a kill as well. So Thiak, going down. Here comes the home guard. Maple is going to be looking for a lot of these resets, a lot of these kills. Nujoa, as you saw, had to go right into the back there. But tower down, inhibitor down. That is not good news for the Flash Wolves whatsoever. And all of a sudden, our cash lead went from 4 to 7,000 now, almost doubling that, up to 11,000 gold for Lyon Gaming. So they're doing extremely well here this mid game. Again, the item advantage. You saw Porky. He just jumped. He went right past the tower, tanked 3 shots. They barely took any damage off of him. Dragon's Descent into the back. Fortunately, did not hit anyone. So, a little bit of bad aim coming out from Porky, but still, he was able to separate out the team of the Flash Wolves. They were able to pick off several kills, and then they got themselves an inhibitor on top of that. So now they can just focus their pressure here on the mid, on the bottom lane. They can basically take all the map objectives at will because they have such complete map control. And Lyon Gaming can just start slowly tightening the noose around the neck here of the Flash Wolves for the final game here today on the Lol Plus stream. Whew, solo casting really does a good number on your throat, so if you're ever wondering why there's a few pauses, just taking water. So I do apologize for that, guys, but unfortunately, as I said, I ran out of Aussies to come co-cast with me as they're off doing other brilliant things. So yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying all this stream. I know that we did have a bit of technical issues earlier on, but we do appreciate all your patience here at WCG2013, Kunshan, China. really fantastic place to host these finals. Some really enthusiastic crews coming out here. The venue's just amazing as well. So kudos to WCG. 13 years now. Well, 14, I guess, because they started 2000. 14 years and strong. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the advertising, a lot of the memory shots. They've been around. You guys know what they're doing. So it's interesting how our Baron is actually going to come up at the same time as our Dragon. But that means that our Baron buff is pretty much going to be finishing up fairly soon. You see it there on Yak. You also see it there on Porky. Porky even died. Yeah, 6-2 and 8. When was the last time you saw this Shyvana just drop? But 4-1-8 on the Ziggs, 4-1-10 on our Caitlyn. Very few relative deaths on some of the big damage dealers from Lyon Gaming. And we were in the same boat there from Varus as well. I mean, Varus basically just got destroyed last team fight. One of the first kills in it, and fortunately for him, yeah, if you take out a big damage dealer like that, might happen here again. The Ziggs, big damage at the end. He goes down once more immediately, and that is a big chunk of the damage again from the Wolves that are gone. Triple kill comes out from the Porky as well. They're gonna go for this ace, and they very well might get it. The body blocking is strong. Stake is not looking so good, but does look like he is able to outrun a lot of this damage, and all of the flash rolls basically just died. It was such great team coordinations between, man, they got the ace of it at the end as well. Ziggs is such a beast. 24-15, that's going to be it for this game, but man, Fiddlesticks coming out big at the end. The Ziggs going with a lot of the damage, and the triple kill comes to the way. Porky 9-2 and 9 Shyvana. If you asked me 6 months ago